Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day and welcome back to another episode of the Fourth Quarter Podcast, guys. It's Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. So anyway, getting right into it, guys. Last night we saw the Spurs forcing Game 7 behind a huge game from Victor Wembanyama last night. It was no surprise that the Spurs needed a huge game last night for Wembanyama to force a Game 7 there last night. In San Antonio. Obviously it was very loud. The crowd was behind them the whole time. And obviously, for me, it seems like the Spurs were ahead the whole time, in control pretty much the whole game there. We saw Victor Wembanyama get going early there. He knocked down three three-pointers in the first quarter, which was huge for him to get him going there early on in the game. He finished with 28 points, not quite his 40 points I predicted yesterday for him on the show, but still, huge game for Wemby, 28 points. Again, like I said, knocking down some huge threes, some really difficult shots there early on in the game, and getting his teammates going early as well. We saw a great game from, again, Devin Vassell, Justin Champagnie, Julian Champagnie, Stephon Castle. Those guys have been great all series. But the guy who really impressed me last night was Dylan Harper off the bench. The rookie Dylan Harper out of Rutgers had 18 points off the bench, which is huge. He was pretty quiet the last couple games there for the Spurs. So, yeah, good for him to have that big game off the bench. And also, I'm really impressed with guys like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, staying ready. Those guys have sort of been there through the rebuilding years of the Spurs, and now they've kind of stuck it around through the good times. So good for them. I've been very impressed with the Spurs bench this series as well. But yeah, for the Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pretty much in prison right now. It doesn't help that he's going through a bad slump right now, shooting-wise, but also the Spurs are not making it much more easier for him. Last night he finished with 15 points and 4 assists, not a typical SGA performance, but man, he's literally in prison. He's got nowhere to go. I feel like the Spurs are playing some insane defense on him right now, like the way that Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox, and obviously like all the attention he requires and demands on the floor is so evident, and the Spurs have been able to really shut him down and clog up the middle lanes for him, even clog up the passing lanes for him, so really, force Shai to shoot a tough shot, which usually, we've seen him knock down a lot of those shots that he's been missing the last couple games. So if you go back to Game 5, he missed a bunch of jumpers that he usually knocks down. He missed a good amount of shots last night. Now, the shots he missed last night were tougher looks, and usually, he still knocks those down. But obviously, the Spurs are making it very difficult for Shai to knock down his shots and get in any kind of rhythm. He's pretty much been in prison all series, but especially last Game 5 and Game 6, though. So, yeah, Game 7, Shai said it himself, it's the biggest game of his career. Huge game in OKC, obviously, on Saturday night, so you expect Shai to play better, but still, the way that the Spurs have been defending him has been pretty impressive to watch. And obviously, last night also J-Dub returned for the Thunder with the hamstring injury. He did come off the bench. He finished with only 6 points. He did play a solid 26 minutes, but he did not really get much going there offensively. And obviously, it's hard to come in and out of the lineup, especially when you're thrown in the middle of like a Game 6 type game. Like, it's hard to just so it's hard to get a rhythm going there. So obviously, I'd stay for J-Dub. I'm not sure if he'll start Game 7. I'm sure they have to start on Game 7. Jared McCain had been starting earlier in the series, but I think you probably have to start J-Dub Game 7. And just, hope you can get a normal J-Dub performance out of him. Obviously, his hamstring, it's a tough injury. Those tend to linger, so hopefully he's going to be 100% or as close to 100% for Game 7. Now, anyway, guys, so huge game last night. Not much of a surprise. I did think the Spurs were going to win. At home, in San Antonio, the atmosphere, the crowd, huge game. So I did expect the Spurs to win. Got Game 7 on Saturday and absolutely cannot wait for that. Now, last night, the O's. Unfortunately, their win streak has come to an end. They lost to the Jays 2-1 last night. It was a very close game. Great game for Chris Bassett. He pitched about 5 innings there. Give up one earned run to a home run to Jimenez there. But other than that, he pitched very well. Shout out that guy who caught 2 balls last night. Gave one to the shorty behind him there. Great move, by the way. But hey, shout out to that guy. It seemed like a very cool guy and somebody I'd like to have a beer with. So shout out to that guy, man. You're awesome. Way to catch the ball, man. Nice catch, by the way. And he also caught Kobe Mayo's home run. So that was the only run we scored last night was a solo shot from Kobe Mayo. But this game was a bit frustrating to watch there. In the 8th inning last night, the Orioles walked in the bases. They walked the bases loaded, walked in a run, and then bottom 8, we got 2 guys on, 2 outs. Pete Alonso gets back pick from catcher. After the pitch, catcher throws down to first after the pitch, back picks him at first, and that's out of the inning. And that just can't happen, especially with our best player. you can't have that. And I mentioned before, my first video, guys, what is going on with the Orioles base running? I feel like part of it's got to be on the coaching staff, the base coach. Like, what are you doing? Pete's not going anywhere. He had Gunner or Taylor Ward right in front of him. He's not going anywhere. So I don't get that. And then just to get thrown out like that from the catcher on a back pick at first base is pretty bad. So obviously, yeah, that can't happen. That killed all the momentum there, obviously. And, the O's that was it. Like, they couldn't really get anything going in the ninth inning. But, yeah, tough. Very frustrating when that stuff happens. Yeah, it's usually that's some little league stuff. And usually the Orioles don't really have that happen. So, anyway, yeah, tough way to kind of have that inning end last night. But, anyway, one more note from the game last night. We did see rookie pitcher Cameron Weston make his MLB debut last night in the ninth inning. He pitched pretty well. I was impressed with how he looked there. But yeah, so anyway, a bit of a tough loss for the O's last night. It's all good though. Toronto, I didn't realize Toronto's won like I want to say maybe 7 in a row now. They've won like maybe 15 out of the last 20 games. They're on a bit of a heater now themselves. And also, yeah, the O's have a lot of division games coming up. We got Boston next week, Toronto. I think we go to Toronto next week and then go to Boston. So yeah, got a lot of division games coming up against AL East opponents. So yeah, we'll stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, yeah, thanks for watching. We got Game 7 tomorrow, or not tomorrow night. I wish it was. Is it tomorrow night? Yeah, Saturday night. Game 7 in OKC. Expect a huge game from Shea. Yeah, obviously Shea's been in prison this series, so it's been tough to kind of watch as a Shea guy. But anyway, guys, yeah, much looking forward to Game 7 tomorrow night. Yeah, thanks for watching, and like, subscribe. Go O's. Let's beat the Jays tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace. Pete Alonso, I still love you. It's all good, man. Peace.